We're here at the 2013 Woodstock Fruit Fest. I was able to grab Dr. Doug Graham to share a few minutes with you guys because it's really important you guys know what the 80-10-10 diet is all about. I mean, this man wrote the book, and there's a lot of information going around on the web, on the internet and whatnot, that may not have the way that Doug would do the 80-10-10 diet. I want to know, Doug, about 80-10-10 and spices, condiments, and you always advocate don't eat it unless you can make a meal out of it, but what if somebody wants that pizza spice flavor, or a little bit of garlic or mushrooms or seaweed on a cake? Are they going to be ejected out of the club? Are they not on 80-10-10 if they're going to eat that one? They just want some extra flavor or something?
I have tremendous flexibility in my dietary program. My preference is because I eat whole, fresh, ripe, raw, organic plants so much of the time that I've got lots of room to bend a little over this way. If I go a little over this way, I'm still within my guidelines of what's acceptable. But even then, I've created a list for myself of the foods that I always emphasize. This is what I eat day in, day out. I'm always eating out of this category of foods. I've got a category of foods that I just never, ever go there. And then I've got some foods that I call my sometimes foods. And I've got that list of sometimes foods. And even with those, in my columns, what I did is I took the ones that I sometimes eat a little more and sometimes eat a little less. I put them over near the never, and the more is a little near the always. Once I've created that list and I've defined for myself what that is, I can then look and see if I want to make any changes in my dietary program. Do I want to take one of those things that's in the sometimes category and move it into always? Or do I want to take something that's in the sometimes category and shift it over to never, and then see how I feel with that new relationship going? I also define for myself very clearly what sometimes is. Like you say, once in a while. I've had people tell me they never smoke except a pack a day. I honestly have. I've had people tell me they never drink coffee except 2 cups every morning. And I've had a lot of people tell me that. So, you know, I never eat cooked food except sometimes. I think it's worth defining sometimes. So for me, once in a while or sometimes, that's less than once a month. For me, once in a while is like 4-6 times a year. Sometimes I don't eat mushrooms for a whole decade. But if you make something with mushrooms in it, I'm willing to eat it. It's not wrong or bad or, ooh, you shouldn't do that. You know, I mean, it's just not my all-time favorite thing to eat, and it's not where I want to put my emphasis. So for me, it's a sometimes food. Seaweed, I almost never make anything with seaweed. But if I go to your house and you made a big salad and you tell me, oh, it's got seaweed in it, I'm not going to start picking the seaweed out. You know, I mean, it's sometimes. It's not the end of the world for me. But if it goes against my vegan ethic, if it goes against what I see as animal rights or environmental correctness, or or it's something I don't like, I've got lots of things in my never list, and I'm not ever going to eat Kentucky Fried Chicken. Okay, that's not going to happen. You know, you see me coming out of McDonald's, it's because I went to the bathroom, and that's it. Or because they do have something really good at McDonald's.
They do.
They have internet.
Free internet.
Free internet. So, but other than that, I think it's really well worth defining for yourself what your own standards are. Always, never, sometimes, and really, you might have something in your never list that you want to get into your always list. I've had people say, you know, I just never eat broccoli, but I believe I should. Well, okay. If you want to move, I would say move it from never into sometimes, you know, and then get in towards always if that's where you're trying to go. Or if you've got stuff in your always list that you want to get all the way over to never, just drag it through sometimes, and it'll come out the other side, and you'll develop yourself into who you want to be. And as much as it would be nice to be able to just snap into one thing and another, and with some things we can do that, I should start an exercise program. Yeah, well, start. Start immediately and do it every day. Just start at a reasonable level that you can do. But for me with foods, I don't think it's the end of the world if you put a little cinnamon in your apple, date, banana mush.
Pudding.
Sorry. Oatmeal. You know, cinnamon makes it just almost more like oatmeal. So, okay, great. Is it the end of the world? Do I have to have cinnamon or I'm just not a happy camper? Well, no, that's a different thing. But if you want, there's certain times where certain flavors make a certain dish that much more realistic of what you remember or you want it to come out tasting like. And so then you got to make your exceptions and use what you got to use.
All right, Doug. I mean, that's an excellent answer and an excellent concept of the, you know, always, sometimes, and never, and then even gradients in between there. And this is just one of the many concepts you're going to learn in Doug's book, The 80-10-10 Diet. You can't get your education from YouTube videos or reading a couple websites. You really got to buy Doug's book to know what it's all about. This concept and so many more will basically teach you the ins and outs on how to live a true 80-10-10 diet that, you know, Doug Graham came up with and wrote in the book. So, Doug, how can somebody, you know, pick up your book there?
They can go to foodandsport.com. It's food, the letter N, and then sport, it's 10 letters. If you got it right, it's food and sport. You can go to our website store and order 80-10-10. We do same-day shipping. You can order from Amazon and you wait a little while for the book. You can go to your local library, and the entire United States library system is set up to supply free copies of 80-10-10 to anybody who requests it. If it's not already in the library, you request it, they'll get it for you, and it'll be there for everybody else. You can get this for free. This isn't a sales talk. You can go to your library and get 80-10-10 right then and there. And then it'll be there for everybody else to read too. There's a lot of libraries where 80-10-10 is constantly on order because it's in so much reading demand, and I'm thrilled about that. I want people to read the book, so we make it available for free, but you want to have your own copy so you can make notes in it, well, you can get it at foodandsport.com.
Buy Doug's book so you really know what it's about. Start trying some of the concepts that are going to definitely work for you like they have for me. Remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables best.